Hello, YouTube. Before you join iGenius, please consider their second quarter report to the Securities and Exchange Commission, which was published today, August 13th, 2025. On second thought, if you have a low embarrassment threshold, you may not wish to watch this video. InvestView, which is the shell company behind which iGenius hides, had a terrible second quarter, and in fact has had a pretty disastrous beginning to its 2025. Here are the highlights, so-called, nothing high about them. Their gross revenue decreased 24.7% for the 3 months ended June 30th, 2025, compared to the similar period in a previous year. Net revenue decreased 23.5%. Net cash was also down, which is kind of unusual for them. They tend to be pretty good about their cash. They experienced a net loss from operations of $0.02 million for the second quarter, and their net income decreased almost 20%, down to $400,000. Now, it's equally bad, or perhaps more worse, if you look at the first 6 months of 2025 and compare them to the first 6 months of 2024. Gross revenue down 30.5%. Net revenue down 30.3%. Net cash, 3.7 million, fine. Well, they did manage to lose $400,000 for the first 6 months of 2025. And this was reflected across the board. iGenius, the Bitcoin mining operation in Iceland that they have, lost money. And in fact, in terms of net operations, so did the cosmetics that they sell. They haven't launched My Life Wellness yet. I'll show this to you. I've shown this graphic before. What was going to begin to be what was initially 2025 Q2 has now turned into 2025 Q4, according to their to the longer version of this report here. Meaning, I'm not really sure who they're selling cosmetics to. This is probably legacy customers from prior to the Renew Labs sale. They haven't started selling to iGenius customers yet. We find out exactly how many shares they bought back in the repurchase program. There were only 6.1 million shares, a lot less than I expected. They decreased their total number of shares by only 0.33%. As of this date, the price of an InvestView share is hovering around 2 cents per share. Okay, so for iGenius specifically, they netted $7.8 million. That's down about 35% from the second quarter of 2024. This surprised me. It's true that at the end of the fourth quarter, 1/3 of their distributors left for another company, Better Experience in Dubai, led by Miguel Vies. But there were other groups that joined, but apparently it was not enough in a large and serious way to make up for the loss, the continuing loss, the hemorrhaging of consultants. So SafeTech is the Bitcoin mining. They made $800,000 in mining, and this is down again another 30-odd% from 2024. And in fact, that whole operation had a net negative first half. Then they do some blah about My Life Wellness, which essentially has not launched yet. And they did make one announcement. So in 2024, InvestView bought Open Cash Securities, which was a registered broker-dealer. And what they're doing with it is creating an app. Whether this makes iGenius a broker-dealer themselves, it appears not. They are launching an app, which I presume they are going to sell to iGenius customers. Well, I don't have to presume it, they say so. OpenCash will leverage a strategic partner with their iGenius subsidiary to unlock expanded access to direct-to-consumer markets. In other words, this is whom they plan on selling this app to. And Victor Oviedo, the shadowy or perhaps absent CEO, made a very long statement saying the same thing that he usually does at the end of a bad quarter or a bad first half, saying headwinds, Bitcoin halving, post-COVID changes in the whole direct selling landscape, etc., and some hopeful language about My Life Wellness, which is going to launch presumably in the fourth quarter of 2025. Folks, I don't know if there are going to be any iGenius reps left to sell this stuff to when the fourth quarter rolls around, because they are hemorrhaging. And I must say, I myself have a low embarrassment threshold, and I am embarrassed for how badly iGenius is doing. Your knowledge, skills, and experience are way too valuable to waste in an MLM, particularly in iGenius. That's all I got. And I will see you in the next one.